Different people respond to news of death differently. Have you ever wondered why? Worry no more. Today I'll be helping you to understand different impact of death in people's life. If you need any support or assistance, kindly reach throughout my contact below. My name is Rachel Mbogwa. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Heart Clinic. If you've not subscribed, please click the red button. Let's connect even in the comment section. Today we are looking at understanding impacts of death in people's life. Death is a life stage of all living thing, but most notably human being. When it occurs, it causes a lot of pain to the family and friends. Death scars are life defining, whether positively or negatively. The impact of death are driven by two things: fear or love. Let's take a case scenario of two people who have experienced the same death, but the death have impacted them differently. A girl called Jones and her mother were involved in a fatal road accident. The firefighter came to their rescue and the mother succumbed to death, but the girl survived. This act of firemen saving her life became her motivation to save others people's life. She desires that one day she'll become a fire person and she'll be able to save a life just like her father. On the other hand, her father, who is a fireman, was not able to reach at the site on time, and he has carried guilt all his life because he was not able to save his wife despite the firemen getting there on time. He promised himself that he will always protect the daughter, no matter what happened. The girl is now an adult who is pursuing her passion to become a fire person, which according to her dad is a risky business because she fears for her life. Throughout her training, that is Jones, to become a firefighter, she has had a fair share of discouragement from gender discrimination. You know, firemen, most of them are men. We don't have many fire ladies, and they have a lot of discrimination. The kind of job that they are doing is more dominated by men than women. There is also the kind of work they do involves a lot of muscles that you require them to carry the ladder, they will carry a hacksaw. The kind of tools that they use are very masculine, and these also have brought in a fair share of challenges because she has to up her game and be able to meet the standard. There is also the work-life balance. Every graduate in fire station as a candidate goes through an orientation where he does or she does everything from cleaning, cooking, and striking a balance between that, and also responding to the fire cases or responding to the emergencies becomes a very tricky balance to go through. Jones is also experiencing hardship in trying to have a work-life balance and also participating in her usual life. Real challenges. Rescue is never an easy one. You will find a devastating scenario or even risky scenario where you're trying to save someone who's fallen in a pit or a building has just collapsed. These are some of the challenges that John has faced. From Jones, we can see how her mother's death became an inspiration to save more life and to help others even in the areas of their life. While on the other hand, John's father became fearful of losing her only daughter even after losing the wife, and he is fighting so hard to ensure that Jones does not get in their risky business, which is calling the fire rescue. And in this, the fear is driving him to prevent her daughter from achieving her dream. Despite John's determination, her father is so busy harassing her bosses to look for anything that can cause Jones to be withdrawn from the fire station. He fears that he's going to lose her daughter. And through this, he's fighting Jones' desire to become a fire person. And this is where the conflict starts. While John's positive life scars pushes him to achieve her dreams, they conflict badly with her father's fears or life scars, which is fear, that he fears of losing his only daughter. And this brings a lot of isolation, self-doubt in John's life. And finally, Jones gets into depression. Fear caused by the loss of a loved one presents itself in a justifiable kind of an action to protect, to prevent the other person from experiencing death. And that is how fear presents itself. I don't want you to experience what your mother went through. I don't want you to go to a risky place. See Jones' father making decision to transfer Jones to work in an office without her consent. At times, the culprit does all this that is in their power to prevent their loved one from going to what they term as dangerous in their own words, just to save them. And their biggest drive in this is because they're driven by fear. Unfortunately, they're not able to communicate the reason why they are transferring their loved one. When Jones got in this dilemma, she opted to commit suicide, as most people battling depression would rather do. They rather join their loved one than fail to fulfill their dream, the drive that they had to save lives. They rather die than see them up not fulfilling the dream they had. John's father has now experienced the death of a wife and her daughter, who he thought he was helping. It is so sad to lose a loved one, but more painful to lose another one due to the fear camouflaging or disguising itself as love and care. How would you know if you're responding in fear or in love? Number one, anytime you find yourself playing a God role, you're driven by fear and not love. Where you want to protect someone, and it's only God who can protect. When you want to prevent someone from being who they desire to be, we say that you're playing a God role. And it's only God who can do that. The drive is not love, it's fear. How then can you be able to know that you're driven by fear, not love? Unexplainable excuses why one cannot do such a thing. Like Jones, she didn't know why her father was really fighting to prevent her to become a fire person. It was an unexplainable. Anytime you find that you have reasons why you don't want the other person to do, but you cannot explain it, it is driven by fear, but not love. Constantly reminding your loved ones of the traumatic incidents that happen, and this creates fear. This is driven by fear and not love. Like you would sit with your daughter and tell me, you remember that experience when you lost your loved one? Why are you reminding them? It's a traumatic experience. It should be erased or it should be dealt with. But you're here keeping reminding them, creating fear in them as if they can never achieve what they desire to do. At times, those traumatic experiences are meant to push us to become better, but not to make us get into depression. But when you find you're doing it repeatedly, you're creating fear. You're not driven by love. You're driven by fear. If you love, you will let go. And you let go your child, you let go your partner to be, you allow them to be. And all you do, you pray for them, allowing God to create faith in them. That is driven by love. Unconditional love. Look out for the good of the other person. Why would you deny someone's career and passion to achieve that because you feared they will lose their life? That is not love. Love, unconditional love, look out to the other person. They want to be a mechanic, support them to be mechanic. That is unconditional love. But when you come with conditions, that is driven by fear. How then can you also know that you're driven by fear or love? When you listen to understand, not listen to be understood. What do I mean? You're there with your daughter. One is arguing, I want to do IT. The other one is saying, what is IT? You should do catering. You as a parent, when you choose to listen to understand, help me understand. I don't know what this IT is. Please explain to me what is this IT. Or IT is the way you study computers, how they work, how they operate. And I want to study that course so that one day I'll be able to run a company or I'll be able to become an engineer in IT or in computers. And that parent sits down and say, I do not understand what those computers and ITs are. But anyway, I choose to support your career. I choose to support you. That is love. When you choose to listen to understand the other person, but not only to be understood. You have your own reason why you want your daughter to do catering. And we all understand. Maybe catering is what you did, or catering is all you know, or even imagine about. But when you allow the other person to be, regardless of whether you understand or whether you know more details of what they're talking about, you allow them to be. That is driven by love and not fear. Thank you so much. My name is Rachel Mbogwa. That is all for today. Till next time. Bye bye.